Welcome to the Brunel Business School MSc Marketing webinar today. My name is Katie Moore and I work in the Admissions and Marketing Office for the Business School and will be your host this morning. Today we have Dr Dorothy Yen, the Course Director for MSc Marketing, here to talk about the programme and answer any questions you might have. Hi Dorothy.
Hello everyone.
Okay, thank you Dorothy for joining us for today's webinar. Could you explain what your role as course director, what your role involves as course director?
Okay, my role as course director involves in terms of designing different modules, having an overview of all the modules and how they contribute to the performance of the MSc Marketing course. I'm also the friendly face that you can come and approach to when you need to have someone to speak to regarding the course, not particularly regarding the modules, because if you have any questions specifically towards one particular module, then you should approach your module leader. But if you have any questions about a particular course and if you would like to swap pathway, then feel free to contact me.
Okay, thank you Dorothy. Could you tell us maybe a little bit about the modules you actually teach on?
Yeah, I teach the module Marketing Communications on the MSc Marketing pathway. This module is also open for students that's registered on Corporate Brand Management. It is a well-received and very popular module for a lot of students. We talk about different marketing communication tools. We talk about the concept of integrated marketing communication campaign. And we also discuss a lot of academic research, all relevant to marketing communication or in different parts of marketing communication, such as advertising, public relations, direct marketing, personal selling, and etc.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. And what sort of activities do you do on these modules?
The module for marketing communication usually consisted of 2 hours of very interactive lectures. So we would usually start the lecture with 1 question for students to discuss either in pairs or in group of 3s. After the discussion, we would start the lecture, which would involve a lot of video clips that students could watch and discuss. And then, of course, the tutor would also discuss and join the discussion with students. I think what students really enjoy for this particular module is that it is very interactive and there's always a chance for them to express their opinion and their views.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. Listeners, please post your questions to us and we'll be happy to answer them as we go along. Okay, Dorothy, do the students have to do exams on these courses, or are they doing coursework? Or is it a mixture?
For the MSc Marketing pathway, they will have to do exam for some of the modules, but most of the time they will be required to do like a long essay, which include either 2,500 words or to 3,000 words. So it depends on each individual module. For marketing communication, it is essay-based, so it has a heavy focus on literature review. As far as I know, that international marketing is also a case study-based essay. Okay, and in the end of all this year of study, you will be required to do a dissertation, which is 12,000 words. And you will have to base your dissertation on an actual company or a research, so that you could collect some empirical data in order to better address and answer your research questions.
Okay, thank you Dorothy. We've got 2 new modules that are currently being approved by the university, Marketing Principles and Consumer Behaviour. Could you tell us a little bit more about those courses?
Yeah, Marketing Principle in a way is a very fundamental marketing course. What we did before was to cover marketing principles in one of the core modules as strategic marketing management, but after discussion and review with external and internal examiners, we've decided to separate that into 2 separate modules. So now, Principle of Marketing will discuss the traditional 4P, or the very important things, and we'll discuss the market from looking at its external and internal environment. And then we'll leave more the advanced discussion, and also, for example, such as all the strategic evaluating framework in the strategic marketing management module. So in a way, you'll have to do principles of marketing to better understand the very basic principles, and then in the second term, you will do strategic marketing management. Consumer behavior is also a new module that we think is very relevant to our students and very important, because better understanding consumers' needs and how they perceive your product and your brands is the successful marketing campaign. So in the consumer behavior module, you will be told how consumers make decisions, how their affective system and cognitive system influence their decision-making process. And of course, we will also address the consumer environment and how marketing could better stimulate consumers towards the preferred outcome, for example, buying your brand rather than purchasing your competitors' brands.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. Could you tell us a little bit about the business planning module, how the practical experience is used in creating a business plan?
The business planning module is conducted by Dr. Follen. He is a very experienced marketeer. He has many years of experience in the industry, so he will be able to employ his industry experience into the discussion and the case study of this particular module. This is one of our very popular modules, and I'm sure you will all enjoy it.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. We've got a question from one of the listeners. They want to know a little bit more about the dissertation, and have you got any examples that you supervised from last year, the sorts of research projects that you've supervised on?
Okay. Last year, well, every year we have a lot of students who wanted to look into luxury brands and how luxury brands work in different markets, different countries. For example, luxury brands in China, luxury brands in Thailand, and also luxury brand, how it is perceived by Saudi consumers or the Middle Eastern consumers based in London. We also have a lot of students who are interested in specific advertising and want to evaluate their effectiveness in terms of influencing consumers' decision-making. Recently, many students also want to look at online word of mouth, which is a quite trendy topic, tapping into social networking sites, so looking at how Twitter or Facebook influence consumers' behavior and their decision-making process.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. What about the Marketing Research Centre? Could you tell us a little bit about the Research Centre and how you use it within your teaching and how the other academics use it within their teaching?
Okay. The Marketing Research Centre, we call it CREAM, is called Centre of Research for Marketing. In this research centre, we have 7 key members who all contribute fairly to part of our Marketing Pathways courses. So for example, I'll be in charge of marketing communication. Dr. Geraldine Cohen will be in charge of strategic marketing management. Dr. Suraksha Gopal will be in charge of business research and marketing research. And then Dr. Sharifa Away will be teaching the consumer behavior module. So all of us will employ and draw our research and our findings into our courses. So we bring in the most up-to-date discussion in the field and to share with our students.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. We've got a question from one of the listeners which I should be able to answer unless Dorothy wants to. We've got somebody that's due to graduate this July from the University of Greenwich, and they are studying business with marketing. They just want to know about the admission requirements and the process. So basically, if you haven't applied yet, you need to submit an application online. If you could do that before July, as we get quite a lot of applications due to the high demand of this course, you will need to obtain a 2:1 honours degree, and we will need 2 references. One of those will need to be academic, and they'll need to be on headed paper. Also, if you could provide a copy of your CV, and obviously you'll need to do a personal statement as part of your online application form. So that should really answer your question. If you go onto our website, www.brunel.ac.uk, BBS, and that's for Brunel Business School, and click on the postgraduate page, you'll be able to find the course information page, and on there you'll be able to click the button for applying online. Okay, do keep posting your questions, and we'll carry on talking about the programme. Dorothy, the MSc Marketing course is accredited by the CIM, the Chartered Institute of Marketing. Are you able to give us some more information on what this entitles students for in the once they graduate?
Successfully graduating from the MSc Marketing course, you will be able to use your graduation certificate as a proof of entry into CIM Chartered Postgraduate Diploma in Marketing. Okay, and the actual details you'll have to find out by signing into our website, and then we'll tell you a little bit more there. Basically, it will be your degree will contribute as an equivalent, so you can opt out some of the modules that's provided by CIM.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. Okay listeners, we're just going to show you on the presentation, you'll be able to see here, this is the shot of the campus. It's quite a large campus, and we're on the edge of London, West London, so we're only 45 minutes away from central London. And as you can see on the campus shot here, we've got everything on one large campus. So you've got all the halls of residence around this area, and you've got some more over here. And then right down the other end, there's almost like a village of accommodation. So we do have enough accommodation for all our postgraduate students. The business school building is down here. Looks a bit like a question mark shape there. A lot of the lectures can take place in this, as well as in the main lecture centre building, which is actually in the middle of the campus. The academics have their offices in the Eastern Gateway Brunel Business School building, so you will come to this building quite a lot when you come to the academic programmes office if you've got any questions about your coursework, submission, exams, that sort of thing. We have a large lecture theatre room that some lectures take place, and of course if you need to meet with your academics, then you would meet with them in their offices. Here you can see some of the sports centre and the running track, so if any of you are interested in sports. And in the main part of the campus, we've got the library, which is several floors high. We've got a cafe, bars, canteen, student nightclub, campus store, bank, everything, pharmacy, all in one main location. So if you really don't want to, then you don't have to go off campus. But as I said, it's only 45 minutes to central London from the local train station. Okay, and this is the business school building here. We only moved into this building last August, so it's a very new state-of-the-art building, and we're really pleased and happy to be located in here. I'm sure when you come here to start your course in September, you'll really like the building and the campus itself. We're still happy to answer any questions from you, so if you want to post your questions, we will have to leave the webinar in the next 5 minutes, as Dr Dorothy Yen has to go off to a meeting. So please do post your questions. Okay, Dorothy, Whilst we wait for some more questions, is there, could you tell us about any of the dissertations you're supposed to be supervising this summer? Have they actually, the students that have just sat their exams for the MSc Marketing programme, they've submitted a research proposal at this stage, haven't they? What sort of projects are they looking to research on this summer?
Again, as I said earlier, a lot of them are very into social networks. So many of them are looking at Facebooks in their different country. So one of the students is not looking at Facebook, but looking at another new social networking program called Instagram. So basically, she told me that apparently in Saudi Arabia and in Emirates, many of the Middle Eastern ladies, they like to go try new dresses on in retail shops, but instead of coming out and to show their friends, which apparently is not allowed in certain circumstances, they take a photo of how they look and then immediately Instagram and share with their friends, and they receive a lot of comments. So now it seems there is a trend that a lot of Middle Eastern ladies are using this particular social networking app in order to remain connected. So we find this particular phenomenon very interesting, and the student is required to conduct a lot of interviews with the actual consumer and attempt to develop a kind of theoretical framework in order to better explain this type of particular behaviour.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. We've got a question from one of our listeners. They want to know, has your background always been in marketing, or have you done any other subjects for your degrees?
That's a very interesting question. I was actually doing a BA in advertising when I was doing my undergraduate degree. And then I worked in an advertising agency for a year and a half before I embarked on a postgraduate degree in UK. So I did a degree called International Marketing Management, and that's really when I started connect with the marketing field properly. And after my postgraduate study, I then worked for a market research company. So I did a lot of market research for different brands, for example, Durex, and also for like UBS. Okay, so all sorts of different brands, and we find out that consumers' insights are crucial for marketing campaign success. Then I was also doing a PhD, which was based in Leeds University, and my particular area is business-to-business marketing. So I look at Anglo-Saxon suppliers' relationships with their counterparts with their Chinese counterparts. So the research finding was very interesting because we found out that in order to better their business relationships with their Chinese buyers or Chinese suppliers, those counterparts will have to better understand the Chinese culture-specific construct, which we phrase as guanxi. So that's my experience before I then fully engaged in academic career and conducting research, various kind of research in marketing. My current research track is looking at Little Emperor's consumption behavior and also look at UK suppliers' business relationships with buyers from the BRIC countries, which include Brazil, Russia, India and China.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. We've had a couple of questions posted from our listeners. Somebody wants to know how some of the modules here are in the undergraduate courses, and how do the postgraduate courses differ from the undergraduate courses?
Okay. The undergraduate courses is mostly taught courses, and we would tend to encourage students to first of all understand the lecture slides, secondly understand the textbook. Okay. On top of that, once in a while we provide some academic articles and require students to read and to discuss them in class. The postgraduate courses is very different, even though it is still a taught course, but it is much more interactive, and we do expect students to engage in deep reading with academic articles. Saying that, this will mean you will have to be engaged and remain in contact with the most up-to-date knowledge in the field, which of course is a much further and more advanced level compared to the undergraduate courses.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. One of our students has asked us about the career opportunities after the MSc and whether they can work part-time. With regards to the part-time, working part-time whilst studying, there are opportunities to work part-time. We have a placement and careers centre where we actually have a job shop where students can register their interest, and we have jobs on campus. Some of our students have worked for academic departments and external companies that have part-time jobs also advertise their jobs through this facility. With regards to careers after the MSc, successful graduates have gone on to work for companies like Barclays, H&M, we've had Daimler International, World One. The sorts of types of roles our graduates have gone on to have been marketing analysts, market researchers, communication, working in the communication department, and a lot of our students have worked for some of the companies that they did that we have links with our work placement companies for our undergraduate courses. So British Airways, IBM, we have really good links for those companies, and not only do our undergraduate students, graduates, but also our MSc graduates go on to work for those sorts of companies. Okay, we've got a student that's asking us how long it takes to get a job. Well, this actual question is something that would apply for all of our MSc courses, and not just our courses, but for graduates all over the country. It's not something we can say that by 4 months after you graduate you will definitely have a graduate job, but we do have a placement and careers centre that offer you help and support in finding a graduate job and graduate schemes, and also Dr Dorothy Yen is able to help.
Yeah, I was actually wanting to address this particular question a little bit further. Looking for a job is, you can't just expect that with a graduating certificate saying you successfully graduated from Brunel MSc Marketing. That's going to guarantee a job. However, what we will try our best to do is to push you and help you engage and enhance your experience, so that once when you graduate, you don't just have a graduation certificate, you actually have something that you could put down on paper to help you better sell yourself to your prospective employers. For example, this is what I always say to my students, is that you really should think hard how you could use the dissertation as a springboard to look at into something you find very interesting and something that could help you sell yourself to the future employers. So if you want to become an advertising executive, then your dissertation should be based around that particular topic. If you want to looking into this new media, social networking media, then your dissertation should be tapping into that particular field. Basically, during the whole 1 year study, we will have career advisor coming to give you talks and to tell you what kind of young graduates they're looking for. Last year, I had a speaker from Birdseye Equal Group coming to talk about the kind of job and the kind of graduates they're looking for. And 6 months later, they are actually looking for young graduates, and then they send us their employee adverts. It's the first instance. So basically, we are in a very good position, and we have a lot of connection with industry experts. And what we think students should really do is try to maximize and enhance their experience so that they could actually have something to say once they graduate from Brunel.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. I think we've only got one question left, so we'll, unless anyone posts any more questions, we'll answer this one and then we'll start to finish off the webinar. The last question, somebody's asking us how many students we tend to recruit for this MSc Marketing course. I believe we've had about 60 to 70 students on the in the last few years. So how many students do you actually have in a typical class?
For the marketing group, I think we had around 65 last year-ish, and then the year before we had a little bit more. I think we had around 80. I'm not sure how many we will actually have. Hopefully it's around 60, because I think that's a good number. You can interact with a lot of students coming from all different cultural backgrounds, with all different new ideas to contribute to the classroom discussion. And also we also have a lot of small group discussion and assignments based on group exercise. So yeah, hopefully we will be able to recruit around 60, and that will give us a good base to divide students into small groups.
Okay, thanks Dorothy. Well, we haven't had any more questions, so we'll finish there. I'd like to say thank you to all our listeners for tuning in, and also thank you to Dr Dorothy Yen for giving up her time and joining us today. I'd just like to point out that after this webinar there are several ways that you can contact us or keep in touch. We've got our Brunel Business School Facebook page if you haven't already liked us and are following us on there, and also we have Twitter and Business School LinkedIn. So if you haven't already joined those social media sites, then please do so. Details, you can find that on our website, and also if you want to email us, you can email us at these on our slides here. So thank you very much, Dorothy.
Thank you everyone, and I look forward to see you in Brunel. Bye.
Okay, bye Dorothy. Okay, thank you everyone again for listening in. Goodbye.